Hello Guardians and Assassins, and hope you're having a wonderful day today. Hey, welcome to episode number 2 of PvP School, aka Crucible School. Now you guys are probably wondering, what are we going to learn about today? Well, today we're going to learn about correct weapon loadouts and why you should use them, and simple ways to break the rules when you actually go to make a weapon loadout, and why you would want to break those rules. Now, keep in mind, guys, certain weapons here have range, and they have an effective range, and they have ranges that sometimes are just a little bit too close, to actually be useful and feel comfortable. For instance, you wouldn't want to run up to a Guardian with the Might of Multi-tool and attempt to have a gunfight when you're practically standing on their toes. It just makes absolutely no sense, because it's going to make it rougher for you, because of the sights on the Might of Multi-tool, to actually land all your shots correctly. Now, on the other hand, in the same situation, if you have a Guardian that is completely cross-map, you are not going to want to use, a sidearm like New City. Like, New City is a submachine gun, but submachine guns and sidearms are pretty similar. So, you wouldn't want to use like a Last Hope, which would be a sidearm, or New City, which would be a submachine gun, when you're trying to cross-map somebody. It just makes absolutely no sense. I mean, you are completely out of the effective range, and by the time the bullets actually make it to your enemy or to your particular target, it's gonna look like you're tickling them. You might do one, maybe 2 points of damage if you're able to land the shots at all. Otherwise, you guys will actually think, hey, wait a minute, I'm having ghost shots. Now, first of all, let's talk about the weapon Last Hope. Last Hope is a sidearm that has some incredible stability, but it's one of the weapons that tends to break the rules a little bit, see. It can actually be used very effectively at close range, extremely close range, and a little bit towards medium range. Medium range, on the other hand, you don't get too many weapons that would be able to match that up for you just perfectly. Now, submachine guns. Submachine guns are very, very interesting things. As you see from my previous videos here, I'm using the Antelope D. It's actually one of my favorites. You guys will see this again. You guys will probably see this a lot. So, the thing about the Antelope D is it breaks the original mold for submachine guns. Submachine guns are meant to be used at extremely close range. Some submachine guns get outclassed by sidearms that are at close range because of how short the distance is. So you pretty much want to be up in your enemy's grill when you are going to try to, blow his head off with your submachine gun. Now, on the other hand, this particular submachine gun, my Antelope D, that on the other hand is completely different, because that is anywhere from extreme close range to right about medium range, which makes it one of the only submachine guns in its class that can actually hold a decent damage percentage, if the enemy has, maybe a couple feet on you here. I mean, that's perfectly fine, but as I said once again, you don't want to reach that area where you are too far away and you have massive damage fallout. I'm sorry guys, but that's almost an automatic lose when it comes to, having a gunfight. I would rather have a gunfight where I have a 600 round per minute weapon and I am doing 25 to the head compared to if I were to use a different weapon and let's say I have 12 to the head. 25 to the head versus 12 to the head, well, simple math there, Guardians. Every Guardian has roughly 200 health, that is, if they're playing smart, and they have the resilience of at least 4 or above. At 4 resilience, you have, roughly about 200 health, which is absolutely excellent. Makes it very competitive. Anything more than that can be a little bit overkill, and you could actually be taking away from some of your other statistics. If you have any mobility, you better really know how to use it, and you better hope that you're going for full team wipes, because if you have full mobility, 9 times out of 10, you're either lacking in resilience, or you're lacking in recovery.
I need a hunter like
Now, why
you
is
with the
recovery
red jacket.
important? Recovery is
Zone C
important
captured.
because you want to get back into the gunfight as fast as possible. So if you duck behind cover and wait for your health to respawn, how long is it going to take
Finish them.
for your health to actually come back? Well, the higher recovery you have, the more health you get, and the faster you get it. Now, guys, as I said, this is a submachine gun that kind of breaks the rules. We got a little bit off task there, but we're still talking about the Antelope D. It breaks the rules in a majority of things just because it can actually go to medium range and be very highly effective, as you can see in some of the background gameplay. So, why is the Antelope D so great? Well, first of all, the stability. The stability is absolutely wonderful because you can control the weapon very easily. If something has low stability, it's going to bounce all over the place and you're going to feel like you're at one of those rodeo shows, you know, riding a mechanical bull. It's just not a good time because, you know what, I don't know anybody who wants to go out, ride a mechanical bull, and go get thrown halfway across the room and consider it a fun time. Well, you know, you at least want to try to be competitive when you do that, and you want to at least, you know, ride the bull for a little bit. So with the Antelope D, you're not riding the bull anymore. You're controlling it, which is absolutely wonderful, which is what you're looking for. Now, guys, I'm leaving my KD and I'm leaving most of this footage unedited so you guys can actually see, you know, how it is and how I actually am in a real gameplay. Keep in mind, I am editing through the clips and taking out, you know, the games that I had, which are bad games, and, you know, leaving the medium good to excellent games in every single video that I do. Why? Because, you know what, everybody has their bad games, and nobody really wants to see anybody fail that repetitively. So, if I was trying to use, let's say, Last Hope, and it was the first time I got my hands on it, I highly doubt you guys want to see me die 55 times and get 2 kills. That's just not entertaining. Well, it could be, you know, if you really don't like me, but, you know, let's pretend that you guys all are a very loving crowd. Got it? Alright, cool. Alright. Now, this, on the other hand, I'm also using the Positive Outlook, which is also paired with my Antelope D, as you guys seen before. Now, we just went over the range on the Antelope D, but with the Positive Outlook, this is a very special case as well. Normally, auto rifles, like the Positive Outlook, like I'm using right here, have, you know, anywhere from medium close to long distance, not extremely long distance though, nothing like cross map. Now, the Positive Outlook actually has the most range that I've ever seen in an auto rifle, which is absolutely wonderful because if you guys are watching how I'm taking the shots here, it's incredibly stable for the, you know, for the range that I'm actually using it in. Now, guys, you just saw me switch from the Positive Outlook to the Antelope D almost instantaneously. You guys, imagine when you're running around, your Guardian has a bubble around it. And if they get inside your bubble, if they get inside your space, it's time to switch up weapons. Because once again, you don't want to be that guy who gets caught trying to use a Might multi-tool when somebody's in your face trying to stab you. It just doesn't work. So, part of this, you need to know what ranges to switch weapons at. For this, for the Positive Outlook, most of these guys, if you see on the radar there, most of them are pretty far out. I mean, it's not even shading a pie of my radar. It's actually just a crust, you know, and sometimes the crust is good, you know, like pizza. But you know, you really want that centerpiece. You want the toppings, you know what I mean? You want the actual good stuff in the pizza, not the crust all the time. So what I'm doing here, even though I love using my Antelope D, I'm actually using the Positive Outlook to actually compensate for the distance because, you know what, the Positive Outlook is a very, very steady tool. The Antelope D, on the other hand, is just a monstrosity when it comes to medium to close ranges. So, in the combination between both of them, you now have your close range, your extreme close range, your medium range covered, all that with the Antelope D. Then you have your, you know, your medium range, and then your long range, and then your extreme long range covered with the Positive Outlook. Because once again, the Positive Outlook is one of those weapons that completely breaks the mold. It has the most range on an auto rifle, as I said before, that I've ever seen, which is, you know, that's wonderful. So, when it comes to picking your weapon out, you know, with your weapon loadout, you don't want to have things that are right on top of each other. So you don't want to have like 2 submachine guns or something like that. But as I said, I was also going to tell you how to break these rules a little bit. Very, very simple. If you have something and you have if you have 2 submachine guns that you absolutely want to run, like, on your Titan, you want to get super, super close to people, because it doesn't matter which weapon you're using at that point. And, if you're pushing and you're super aggressive, you're within, like, what, maybe 15 meters of somebody? That's actually my average kill distance. So, personally, I'm considered, an aggressive player, because you know what? If they're out there, I like to push them. I like to see what they got, you know what I mean? I want to see what Daddy's got in his bag. But, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's something that you actually have to practice. You need to not be afraid of failure. Now, guys, you're seeing my background gameplay. You've seen a couple of, the KDs and the scoreboards that I leave up at the end of my videos, at the end of matches and stuff like that. You guys have to keep in mind, this is after hundreds of games that you are actually watching, with my muscle memory adapting to, hey, I did this time, and I did excellent with it. Or, hey, I did this last time, and I just got ran over like a piece of grass with a lawnmower. Well, you know what? You're just going to kind of have to find your sweet spot. But when it comes to your weapon loadouts, guys, you want to make sure to have all distances covered. Now, let's talk about the grenade launcher that I'm using, because that's a little bit different. Most grenade launchers, they're either medium to medium long range. They're not really long range, they're not really close range, because if you shoot them too close, you're going to suicide your Guardian, and nobody wants to die to their own weapons. I mean, come on now. So, well, unless you're a Dead Orbit supporter. Anyways, the grenade launcher that you're seeing here is one of the extremely special ones in the case, because if you hit a Guardian point blank, it will decimate them, which is absolutely wonderful. But you also can sit there and, you can back it up a little bit and use a little bit of range. Not very much, but just enough. Keep in mind, guys, when you're shooting your grenade launcher, you most of the time want to go for a direct shot. Don't worry about the headshots, because body shots are okay in this time. It's an explosive. Nobody wants to sit there and strap a piece of TNT to their chest and light it and see what happens. It's just not a smart idea. So, when it comes to the play of the game grenade launcher, guys, it is very, very versatile. And you know what? If you haven't used it and you like playing Destiny, I suggest you give it a shot, because you know what? Sometimes I have to use all 4 grenades to down a Guardian, because, sometimes my aim's just potato, just like everybody else's, Nobody has a perfect game. So, when it comes to this grenade launcher, as you're seeing once again, it's very versatile between close range and all the way up to your, I'd say, your regular medium range. If you do not hit a Guardian directly, it takes 2 grenades to down a Guardian, as you guys just saw in the background. On the other hand, if Guardians are stacked on top of each other, hey man, just unload all 4 rounds as fast as possible, because you know what? You're definitely going to get some kills. But you also have to be aware that the second that you fire that last round, you need to switch to your primary. Why? And why? Because it's not going to kill everybody point blank. You know what I mean? They might be stacked on top of each other, but nobody's going to be standing on their teammates' toes. I mean, that's just dumb. 1 grenade can kill all 4. Either way, this wraps it up for this session of Crucible School, aka PvP School. Hey, I hope you guys had a wonderful time here. I hope you learned something. I mean, because you know what? I'm trying to learn from you guys. I'm trying to learn from the community, and I'm hoping you guys try to learn from me too. Together we'll all progress, and you know what? Going to the lighthouse will just be, another part of our average day. Either way, if you guys like what you see, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and if you never want to miss any content, go ahead and click that bell. And hey, don't be afraid to leave some comments. I'm okay with that. Make suggestions for our next video, Have some fun with it. Either way, Guardians, have a